to getting Tom back on the track, and news on that in the show, only in Speedway. Good evening and welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Now, before I introduce everybody, I've got to ask a very important question of Chris.
Go on then.
Yeah, can I have a bottle opener, mate?
Oh yeah, I'll sort one out in 2 minutes. Hang on. Let me just get that off. Right, okay. I've got a spoon there.
A spoon?
Oh come on! Don't say you don't know how to open a bottle with a spoon.
I don't know how to open a bottle with a spoon.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, that would be. Sorry, you're telling what you're telling me is you can't afford a bottle opener. Is that really? Wow, things are not looking up at all. Not looking up at all. Well, obviously we will want to talk about last night's match. Do a quick straw poll from everybody on the shout box. And yes, you can take part in the show if you want to. You can take part on our homepage, sports-radio.co.uk, and there's a shout box there, and you can take part in that. You can also take part in via Facebook by using this hashtag and this address. Facebook.com/Brummies, and you'll see that we've got a split screen, which is a bit scary, isn't it? It is, yeah. So you can actually see us on so you might not want to do that.
Shins and everything.
But on Facebook, we're hey, what can I say? And we're also on Twitter, I believe.
We're on Twitter, yeah, same. Brummy Speedway, so it's twitter.com/Brummy Speedway.
And an animal seems to have invaded the...
the dog.
No, I'd better introduce you guys, haven't I? First of all, no Matt tonight, although he is going to join us on Skype. You probably won't be able to see him. So it's win-win, really, isn't it? And we've got Chris.
Good evening.
And we've got Joseph.
Thanks for finally letting people know I'm here.
Hang on, Joe. I'll tell you what, I'll turn your mic up as well.
What a great idea. So, okay, let's just explain a few things. We are trying some new stuff tonight. We're trying to improve the experience for you guys. So if you get on Facebook, you'll be able to see me and Chris, because we've got
Joe
split and Joe now and again, which is about as much as you can take with that one. So we're also trying different stuff with the sound, so hopefully the sound will have improved, and obviously we're going to be trying Skype as well. So yeah, it's all about this new experiment that we're doing and trying to just make it better and better and better for everybody.
We're going to try and put some interviews on as well. We're doing this on the fly because we don't really know what's going to happen. So
we recorded some interviews last night, and we're actually going to try and put those up live as we go. And say we recorded some interviews. I should say, young Joseph recorded some interviews. And so, let's fingers crossed, gentlemen, and it'll either work or it won't.
What's the worst thing?
It won't work. That's the worst thing.
Exactly.
The worst thing is that nobody's actually listening to us now, and somebody in Timbuktu is going, "What are they going on about?"
Yeah.
Or everyone listening to us and the computer blows up.
Well,
Where is Timbuktu, by the way?
And we'll just good sound effects. That was fantastic. You'd almost think you really was opening a can of beer.
I know. As if.
So, okay. So yes, we do need to talk about last night's match, and we'll do that in a while. But I'll just have a quick straw poll. I think we've got Matt on the line. Yes,
I'm going to get him on the line.
Okay, so when he comes, he can give his opinion. Is 4 points could it possibly be enough for us to win the national trophy? So I'm going to go around the studio. Chris,
it's tight, but still unbeaten.
Still unbeaten. That is true. That is true.
So that's got to be psychologically.
Yeah, but you still haven't answered the question.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, Joseph.
Well, it's looking like Tom Perry's going to be back.
Oh, don't give it away! Don't give it away! That's your big moment. Your big moment, man.
Well, my not so big moment.
Yeah.
So taking that into consideration, I think we're in with a chance.
Okay. I don't. I'm sorry. I think there's two. I mean, a big problem is the problem that we'll be talking about a little bit later, which is Zach Vitanek is sort of not on it at the moment, and we'll talk about the reasons that might be
Just going back to
later.
the predictions, the special one says nowhere near.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say nowhere near. I was hoping for 8 points, to be honest, and we looked like we was going to get it at one point, but we spoke about the guests and how that. But we'll talk about that in a moment, because I think we're going to get Matt on the line and talk about all things Wolverhampton, and we'll see how that works. So while you're doing that, I'll read this. This is from Mildenhall Fen Tigers. Now, you remember that last time we were on? That seems ages ago now, doesn't it? We spoke about this business where Kevin Jolly had a bit of a moment. He wasn't happy with what happened with Cradley and them getting a guest and so on, and he cancelled the match. And he's going to have a disciplinary hearing on Tuesday, which is the day before Mildenhall visit Birmingham. So this is what he says. Or what Dan Halsey says. Mildenhall Fen Tigers' Dan Halsey insists victory over tabletoppers Birmingham on Wednesday can act as the perfect remedy to the controversial postponement of their clash with the Cradley Heathens. If they think that's going to be their remedy, I think they're still on. In a heat-of-the-moment decision, Fen Tigers promoter Kevin Jolly called off the West Row Outfits fixture with the Heathens on Sunday over the eligibility of the visitors' intention to draft in Bellevue Colts star Matt Williamson as a guest in place of Luke Chessel. Given Matt's performance last night, maybe he wishes he hadn't done that now. Former Rye House Raiders rider Chessel had claimed that he was unable to take his place at the meeting due to engine problems, despite having scored a paid 3 total for Edinburgh Monarchs in the Premier League 24 hours earlier during their 52-41 win over the Plymouth Devils. The Speedway Control Board will now discuss what disciplinary action the club face at a meeting on Tuesday, 24 hours before the Fen Tigers are due on the track at Birmingham. Although the cancellation left a sour taste in the mouth of many fans, it was a decision that Halsey has stressed has had no knock-on effects on the team, with their intention now fully focused on lowering the colours of the reigning National League champions. That's us, by the way. So, yeah.
Isn't it nice to say that? That's us.
National, absolutely it is. Let's hope, we let's get it again. Let's do it again.
And maybe, hopefully, sometime in the future, change to the national.
Change in the national what?
As in win the next league.
Oh, right.
Okay. As in to Premier League.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll have a discussion about that in light of the news today that Jack Parkinson Blackburn has become a Sheffield asset.
Oh yes, I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah,
well, yeah. On the news. I haven't got a problem with that because it was obvious that that's what he was going to do. He's a Sheffield lad. That's where he comes from. Yeah. So there's no. It just. Once again, there's no sign-on fee for him to come from Birmingham to Sheffield as an asset because we're not allowed to have assets, and it does leave a sour taste in the mouth. And personally, I enjoy the National League, but I can't wait to get out of it. That's a personal opinion. Because I want to be in a situation where we can start getting our own assets again, and this time get assets.
Yeah. Having seen Williamson last night, he'd been better letting him ride.
Yeah, we'll talk about that the Matt Williamson thing as well. You're going to set Matt up. Hey. So so we're going to be talking to I don't know what he's doing. He's disappeared. We're going to talk to Matt in a minute about all things Wolverhampton, and we'll also ask him his opinion on last night's match because he was there. Have we got him?
We have got him.
Okay.
There, Matt?
I'm here, yes.
Okay,
fantastic.
I'm just going to set you up next to Peggy.
Have you've got a new
put you on
new name there, Joseph? Peggy. Okay.
Right, you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay then. Stop with that.
So, what's been going on Wolverhampton wise then?
Turn around so that you can see him.
Yes, please. Okay. So, what's been going on in Wolverhampton then, Matt?
undefeated Wolves team going down by 19 points. Not really a big surprise. Really, I think most of the focus was going to be on the return meeting on Monday, and Wolves just about ending it on Monday, 46-43. Another terrific night of racing at Monmore Green. Bellevue obviously getting the point, but a good performance by Wolves. It's what really looks a good bet against really what you would say is a fellow playoff contender.
So, still everything sort of going in the right direction for Wolverhampton, and you're having quite a special season, really, I guess.
Well, it's going well. It's certainly refreshing after two really disappointing seasons. Back on top of the table again. And there's still a little bit of work to do, of course, before we can start thinking about getting in the playoffs. We've still got some tough meetings coming up as well. We've got the home meeting against Leicester in a couple of weeks' time, and then we go to Leicester on the Saturday after, again with a depleted side. Once again, another side going to Leicester with riders missing. No Lindgren, no Kilmacorpy, and possibly no Sam Masters either. So,
and difficult to replace them on Saturdays.
That's a difficult one. It's going to be difficult to replace those riders. And even though Leicester are struggling, you probably would at this stage, depending on who the guests are going to be, possibly put them as favourites for that meeting. And really, I think if you want to be in the playoffs, you've got to be targeting maximum points against Leicester.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I presume you've had no news yet of the guests and so on. That will be there for the meeting.
It'll probably be announced in the 3 or 4 days before the meeting. The issue really with guests is that a lot of riders now don't really want a guest, especially if they don't want a guest on a Saturday, on a weekend meeting. So
yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem for Leicester as well, and you have to wonder, I guess, are they in the wrong league?
I don't think they're necessarily in the wrong league. I think it's more the race night that's the problem. I think they're probably better off.
Of course, they've got the option, haven't they? They can race pretty much whichever night they want to.
Right. I think really at the moment they've probably got bigger problems than the race night. In fairness, who's going to be even running the place in the next season or so?
Yeah, quite. So, okay. So how many matches have you got coming up over the next week?
Just the 2 matches against Leicester.
Just the 2 against Leicester.
No action next week. Both those matches against the Lions the week after. Okay.
So, you was at last night's match, Birmingham versus Kent. You got any thoughts on that match?
Once again, a difficult night, wasn't it? Track wasn't brilliant again.
I think that was understandable given the amount of heavy rain that we'd had, the 2 or 3 days before. I mean, a lot of heavy rain, so I think that's what was the cause of that.
Oh, that's right, yeah, but I think again, once again the Birmingham riders turned up at a home meeting, and the track's totally different to what it was for the meeting before, which doesn't help. I think Kent probably will be the happier of the 2 sides.
I think that's an understatement.
To certain lesser advantage, although in fairness I think Birmingham have got riders who can probably go well at Kent on Monday. But I think really the ball's probably in Kent's court as far as winning the trophy is concerned.
I felt, midway through the meeting, it did look as if we was going to pull a bit of a, maybe get 8 points lead, something like that, which I would have settled for before the match, to be honest. But I felt we had a little bit of, I don't know whether it's bad luck or bad preparation or what it was. I mean, Matt Williamson scoring 3 points for a start off. That doesn't help. I mean, if he'd scored 6 points, then we'd have had a lot bigger lead, and you would have bet your house on him scoring more than 6 points before the meeting.
Well, the frustrating thing is, in all the races that he fell off, he was actually
leading
as well.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it was the right decision to put him in the final heat.
I was going to ask you about that. I thought it was the right decision. A few people around me didn't, but I've given that the heat 13 when we was all looking at it thinking, this could be a 5-1 to them, and he sort of came at the gate and won the thing with ease, really.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it in the heat 15, unfortunately. In heat 15, unfortunately. But we can all be wise after the event. So and the other worry, of course, is Zach Vitanek.
Oh, it was very disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even the race he won, he wasn't particularly
Wasn't
convincing
fast.
at win.
No.
I think it was just one of those nights for him. Probably his poorest display for the club since he joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when you're getting 3 points from your number one at home, then it's always going to be a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's great. Obviously, the reserves again were really probably the thing that pulled our sort of hat out the fire, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I've no idea whether they have ridden Kent before.
I don't know. I don't think they have, actually.
I don't think they have. They certainly haven't with us. We haven't. So that's going to be an interesting one. But there's no trick to Kent. It's a small track, but I don't think there's any trick to it. So
I think the one thing last night's result really did show was how important Tom Perry is to the side.
yeah, I mean that's the other thing. If Tom had been there, he would have certainly scored more than the 3 points that Matt Williamson scored. Did you see the practice afterwards?
I didn't know, unfortunately.
I thought they both looked pretty sharp, actually. So, and obviously we've got interviews with them, so we'll put those up. Fingers crossed. We hope if the technology works. So we've got a few things out on the show. But are you okay to sort of stay with us?
Can I read you out about the track? The special one says, what's your thoughts on the track last night, guys? Not the first time it's been slick recently, but getting rather bumpy now, said the special one.
Okay, first thing is, that track was not slick. Right, it wasn't slick. That's the grippiest I've seen that track, apart from the last time Kent were there when it was too grippy.
It has been slick.
It wasn't slick.
No?
It wasn't slick last night. I moved a lot of dirt last night. No, it wasn't slick. Sorry, Matt, what was you saying?
I was like, it wasn't slick last night.
No, it wasn't slick. Getting rather bumpy now. I noticed that there was sort of bumps going across the start gate, but I think that's just because the ground was soft. When they're doing the starts, they're creating more of a rut as they do the starts. So I think that's what that was about. Any more?
Hello, TSO. Yes, JPB was only going to assist for one team. The question might be, do Birmingham have to settle to be small fry or have no Speedway team? I don't know where the club team wants to go, says Stan.
Okay, that is definitely a subject I want to talk about today and tackle. In fact, why don't we do that now? So, as I understand what Stan's saying, obviously JPB was only going to go to one team. He's supported Sheffield all his life.
Boyhood team, is it?
Yeah, exactly. So that I haven't got a problem with that. The problem that I've got is that he should be our asset, and we should therefore be able to sell him on to Sheffield and get some recompense for it. That's my opinion. The fact that we can't do that, and that doesn't seem to be able to be a thing that's going to be a thing in the National League anymore, which they brought in originally to help National League teams financially, and now they've taken that away from them. I think we need, this is a personal opinion of course, we need to be in the Premier League, because I think the fans will filter away. I think that will happen. If we haven't got assets, if we haven't got riders that we can call our own, yes, it's great watching new riders and all the rest of it, but
I think it doesn't work these days with young kids. They want to see the superstar. They want to see the stars.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. If you want to attract youngsters, and the fact is, I think that our process has already started of fans filtering away. Last night was a final. It was a final.
Terrible crowd.
It wasn't very good. Wasn't a good crowd at all. Yeah, really wasn't. What do you think, Matt?
No, it wasn't. There was a fair few Kent fans came up, but you get the gaps in the terraces were quite noticeable, and even inside there were a lot of empty tables, which for a final. I mean, we've talked in the past about comparing the crowds at Elite League level and National League level. That was on a par with some of the poorer crowds in the Elite League days, I think. So
that's a worry, because if we're not getting good enough crowds, we can't go Premier League. If we don't go Premier League, I think we lose more people eventually. I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
So that's an egg and chicken situation, isn't it?
It really does surprise me having a small crowd. It really shocked me.
Got a couple of things on the shout box I don't know answer. So Stan says Jack Smith could be the next to ship. Stan, while the situation is the situation, every single one of them could be the next one to ship, and that's just the reality of National League at the moment.
Yeah. And the fact that where they are in the league, that's got to be drawing
of course
attention. Sure.
Apparently there were some elite league clubs after JPB, which is not surprising. The special one said they noticed some big bumps in turns 1 and 4 in some heats from my vantage point on turn 1. First thing I'll say about that is I've got no idea about 4, but I can tell you there were no bumps on turn 1, because that's the bit of the track that I work. The promise you there wasn't bumps. It was, particularly at the beginning of the meeting, very inconsistent and patchy. So they were picking up, and which is why Matt Williamson has having trouble.
I can't say too much because it's in the interviews, but I did speak to the riders a bit about Bend 1.
Okay, well we'll see what they have to say. Stan says money helps. Yep,
true.
It does, and I think it's shocking the way that the Elite League and the Premier League have stitched the National League up. I think it's absolutely shocking, but nothing surprises me in Speedway. And Special One says, I think seeing the injuries build up puts plenty off. How many seasons have we had where the wheels have fell out due to injured riders and guests on our It has happened in 2000, but that's the nature of Speedway. That's just the nature of Speedway. It happens to all teams at some point, and it happened to us again. And then you look back at last year, and we had Tom Perry injured for a while, and that was about it, really, wasn't it? When we went through so that's you're going to pick up injuries. The trick is to, which you have no control over, of course, but the trick is to pick them up at the right time, so that you can get the right guests and so on.
It does say a lot about the team, though, how we still haven't lost even with 2 injured riders.
I'm getting the impression that maybe last night, and a poor crowd, only winning by 4 points, and JPB situation, it's put a bit of a dampener on it, but it shouldn't have. It hasn't for me. Let's just come back a little bit. I say a poor crowd. It's not the worst crowd we've ever had. Okay, it just wasn't the crowd that I would have hoped for a final. Okay, so that's the first thing to say about that. I don't know what to say about what Stan's saying there. He's talking about the current teenagers. Danyon already with Ipswich, and with respect to the 2 Toms and Richings, no one will chase them for the future. I'm not so sure that's true. With Tom Perry, I think Peterborough are quite pleased with him, for instance. So we shall see on that one. But of course, he's a Wolverhampton asset anyway.
Can we just go back to the crowd for a second? I think one of the main reasons might have been not because of anything that's happened currently, but more just there was a bit of rain before the match, so that probably put quite a few people off.
It's a final, it shouldn't, and shame on anybody that did. That's all. But however, I think the fact that we did have the injuries, and that the people felt maybe we hadn't got a chance against Kent, but we always had a chance, and we still got a chance. It's not over yet. Nobody give up. I'm sure the riders won't be. It's just very difficult.
You
got to say that they're favourites at the moment, but this is Speedway. Anything can happen. So there you go. They're not going to get a very good crowd on Monday, are they?
You don't think so?
Well, the fact that it starts at 6:30, so you try to get down to Kent for 6:30.
That's ridiculous,
okay, and England are playing.
Yeah.
So
couldn't it work around that? Couldn't it be on Tuesday? Or
I don't know. That it's to do with their planning permission, I
Oh,
think.
right,
So I don't know the ins and outs. But Stan says, "Who is the guest at Kent?" Who says we're having a guest at Kent?
Mm.
Who says we're having a guest at Kent? Who knows? In fact, shall we go to the interviews first? Right, and
there we go. Then.
right.
Okay.
So before we go to the interviews, let me just say this: this is the first time we have tried this, and it might not work. So everybody, keep your fingers crossed. Now, can we go with?
Poised.
Yep. Can we go with Daniel? That have been listening to us just via sports-radio.co.uk and are on the shout box and saying what's happening. For some reason it didn't broadcast on that. It did broadcast on Facebook. You will be able to see the interviews at a later date on our Facebook page. We will put those up. So we've just had, just as a quick recap, we've just had Tom Bacon, and he's saying basically the injury felt good, and I think he's just going to wait and see if there's a reaction. He certainly looked good on the bike. It wouldn't surprise me to see him racing at Coventry to test that out and see how it goes.
Yeah.
We also had Daniel Hume, who was talking about the first bend, and he didn't mention any bumps, did he? He was talking about it being inconsistent, really. So that was that. So now we're going to try. Now, if this doesn't work for those of you listening on just the radio, we do apologise. We're working really hard to get this to work. It's work in progress.
Yeah, if you can just
bear
come
with
up
us.
to this, because I think it's Daniel you want, isn't it? So
we've done Daniel Hume.
We've done.
We've done Tom Perry and Graham Drury, please.
Let me just get rid of that one there. Right. Okay. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Here we go.
Now that's Tom Bacon again.
Oh, I don't know why that's come on then. Let's get it off. Okay.
Okay, that was Tom Bacon.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will move on, I think, but we will put all those interviews on the Facebook page. We've got Graham Drury talking about. Well, I think Joseph, you asked him. 4 points. Is that Are you confident we can sort of hold on to that? And Graham made a very relevant point. Look, he said, this team's unbeaten for 14 matches. Of course, I'm going to be confident that we can hold on to 4 points. I'm confident. Basically, he's saying he's confident that we can go there and win. So, which is a fair point, I guess. We are unbeaten, the only team now unbeaten. And we're speaking to Tom Perry and about his injury and how he felt. And he said the injury felt good. He felt good on the bike and fast. He certainly looked good on the bike, and they was just going to wait and see if there was a reaction to the practice today. He actually came off. He had a practice at Peterborough a couple of nights earlier, and he actually came off. The chain snapped, and he came off, and he said, but he felt okay after that, so that's positive as well.
Right.
So, I'm not saying, because I don't know, that they're going to be there against Coventry on Sunday. What I'm saying is it certainly wouldn't surprise me. So that would be great news, wouldn't it?
Do you want to try again? I think I might have it now.
Okay, right, let's go for it.
It's still not might go out on audio, but it will go out on Facebook. I'll get that sorted. So here we go.
Okay, go.
Is that the right one? Is that the one?
Oh right, where's the other ones gone? They were all in the Dropbox. Okay.
Okay, so we've already seen that. So.
Yeah, so we.
Apologies. Apologies.
I love this modern technology.
We can't just keep blaming Webby now. He's on camera too.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There we go.
So, did you really do that?
Yeah, I forgot.
Did you really just do that?
That's a shame, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Okay. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Zach. I get the feeling that the problem here is confidence, purely and simply, and I take that from he wasn't riding how we know that he can ride. You don't sort of mind him losing races, and actually I don't mind him losing races. Let's be honest, he's only 17, is he? Something like that. I mean, still, He's still only a kid.
Yeah.
So let's not get on his back, and I'm certainly not getting on his back. I think it is a confidence thing. I think the fact that he was tootling round the inside, even when he was beating James Shane. How the hell he won that race, I don't know. Tootling round the inside shows a lack of confidence, really. So,
well, his whole career really so far has been sort of like that, hasn't it?
Yeah, that doesn't work when we can't see you, by the way. He said it goes like that.
No, this is the first sort of sticky patch.
It is, and it's important.
Sticky wicket, I should say.
And I think it's important for us as fans not to get on his back, and it's important for the team to support them as they have been and as they will do. And
I think it's a time as well, really, when you probably learn more about a rider's character when they're sort of having a bit of a tough time, and how they can keep themselves going and just sort of get themselves out of the little rut. It was always going to happen at the end of the day, because I think
happens to everybody.
Because of the progress that he's made, the expectation on him. I mean, he's still top of the averages, don't forget. So it's not as if he's had a rubbish season.
Exactly, he's still number one. He's still number one.
Still number one in the averages. So, and that's important. But I think I don't know whether it's maybe the absence of Tom Perry's maybe affected him. I don't know. As I say, he's important to the club. He's obviously a very, very good captain on the track and off the track.
I hadn't considered that, the losing Tom Perry, whether that had, and it does seem to have coincided, because obviously it puts a bit more pressure on him as the number one rider when that happens. Particularly when guests don't turn up because they're ill, or don't turn up because they keep falling off. I got to say, I felt a little bit sorry for Matt Williamson last night, because there was a certain section of the crowd that started getting on his back at one point, and then he came out and won the next race, and won it convincingly. And you thought, and we do a straw poll at the track. Some of us that are working on the track about Heat 15, and I think I was the only one that said, yeah, we should put Matt Williamson in, because he was the only one that looked likely to beat their top two.
Well, he was untouchable when he got out in front, wasn't he? So,
yeah,
as I say, I mean, even in the races when he fell off, he was leading them at the time. So there was nothing wrong with his race pace. He was just staying on the thing that was the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, it happened, and as it's like I say, anything can happen in Speedway, and you just don't know what's going to happen down at Kent on Monday. If I could be there, I would be there, but it's a long way, and it's 6:30 start, and
not ideal.
No, it's not ideal at all.
More responsibility as number one to lead from the front, as a reserve or even middle order. There's less pressure to get a decent score. Zach probably beating himself up mentally, says Special One.
Yeah, I think you could tell from his demeanour when he was at after the meeting last night, couldn't you, Joe? That he wasn't happy bunny. Actually scored 3 points, so I wouldn't necessarily want him to be a happy bunny, but it's how you deal with that, and it's what sort, whether you are beating yourself up, or whether you're sort of saying, right, well, that happened, onwards and upwards, and
I actually have a bit of a story about this as well. I think it was like Heat 15. I turned around, and because where I stand, right behind it is the change where the riders get changed. So I turned around and I saw Zach there, and he was clearly in a bad mood, and he was just trying to shove the door in because it wasn't open. So
yeah, well,
it was clearly not in the best of places.
Yeah, I mean,
I should imagine riders do again.
Well, of course.
Now and again, we'll do, don't we?
Yeah, 3 points. But okay, so more responsibility as a number one to lead from the front. As a reserve or even middle order, there's less pressure to get a decent score. Yes, there is, but he's been at number one all season, and he's still got the number one average in the team. So he can do it. he can. We know he can do it. He's proven that he can do it. So he's just got to remember that. And he's beaten some good riders and had some good races this year. Stan's next point, I don't understand. So I'm not going to answer it because I don't quite understand. So perhaps if you could rephrase it, Stan, I might have a better idea of what your point is.
I think he's trying to say that we could be playoff chasers from now on. Oops.
Okay, well, we're not going to be playoff chasers. We're going to be in the playoffs. So that's no doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
No,
says GA, so,
would you'd agree, wouldn't you, Matt? It's no doubt we're going to make the playoffs.
I think Birmingham, Kent and Eastbourne are shoo-ins, and I think Bellevue are going to get fourth. I think Clyde will miss out.
I do like it when you say that. Can you say it again?
I think Clyde will miss out. I like saying it on you, so...
Yeah.
I would agree that we that will definitely be in it, and then you said it, and now you jinxed it.
Oh, well, it'll be my fault then. It'll be my fault.
Everything always is.
Right, so before we look ahead, we obviously got a match, I beg your pardon, at Coventry on Sunday, and we've got the important match at Kent on Monday, and then we've got Mildenhall on Wednesday. Before we look at that, and by the way, have we got any scores yet?
I'll have a look. Sorry, I forgot all about that.
I'll just sort of go around some of the news that I picked up that were interested. First,
before you go into that, especially want to know what happened to Williamson last night, because I know we talked about it earlier, didn't we?
I think he had one of those nights. I think the track caught him out, like it caught out a lot of our riders, to be fair. He wasn't the only one of our riders that fell last night. I think it caught him out. And that's it. I just think it was one of those nights. I don't think I saw his face at the end and he wasn't happy about it. Again, you wouldn't expect him to and you wouldn't want him to. Yeah. It happens. Riders have bad nights, and I think it was that. I think it was just purely and simply that. Okay. So, okay, Somerset. They've been moaning. About people getting in for the wrong price.
Oh, right, okay. Well, sounds interesting.
So apparently, some of the Somerset fans have been getting in as old age pensioners.
Yeah.
Was that you, Joe?
yeah. A few times.
I think you're looking at me.
Some of them have been getting in as concessions, so student prices and so on. Was that you, Chris?
Probably, yeah,
okay.
Definitely, yeah.
I think they've got to sort out what they're doing there, haven't they?
What meetings are on tonight?
It's a bit amateurish, isn't it, sir?
That's the point. I mean, and they are called the Rebels, so you would expect their fans to be a bit rebellious. I'm just going to give Chris some instructions because
just want to know what do you want me to follow?
Well, Sheffield's racing. Can you see the numbers that are there? So
of course, yeah.
Okay, so
didn't see.
Yeah.
Didn't spell that one.
Okay. So, Sheffield versus Redcar, 7:30 start tonight, and the scores are currently loading as we speak. 30 to Sheffield, 20 to Redcar. No real surprise. Oh, Josh Bates has been withdrawn, so he's obviously had. So they're now operating with 5 riders because Jason Garrity's not there. Rider replacement for him, and Josh Bates has withdrawn. So, ouch. That's going to be difficult for them.
Very much ouch.
So while I'm talking, you can have a look, see if there's anything else.
Yeah.
So that was, as you said, it sounds a bit amateurish. Even actually amateurish to announce that on the website. You just deal with the problem, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I would have
not
thought.
Publicly humiliate people. So.
Yeah. And the only other sort of news that, obviously, other than the Mildenhall situation, I don't know whether you heard that, but they reckon that they're going to beat us on Wednesday next week.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, good luck.
Well,
with that.
We'll see next Wednesday, won't we? So
good luck with that. I just say best wishes to an ex-Birmingham rider, Carl Newman, who broke his collarbone at Peterborough riding for Plymouth. So yeah, there's been a few injuries going about, and I think is that not the second injury he's had this year?
I think it's the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. So that's a shame.
It should congratulate Danny King as well, really. For
yeah. I was coming
did
to that.
anybody pick him to win? Or no?
Yes, I was trying to ignore that, to be honest, Matt, because who was it that picked him to win?
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, well, I think it was Webby, wasn't he? To the amusement of me, and you picked Danny
Yes,
King.
yeah.
I do remember people giving me. So,
yeah,
there you go. I did say it was a funny old game.
Harris,
Yeah, he was worth it as well, wasn't he?
yeah, I picked Chris Harris. That was a bit.
Yes.
I
can't remember who I picked.
I do know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Actually,
Do you though?
it was a well-deserved win, didn't you think? I think he rode.
He rode really well.
Really.
He rode. I was talking to a friend who went to the Bellevue Coventry meeting a few weeks earlier, and he said he rode really well in that one. It's really a track that he's got to grips with quite quickly. Chris Harris, by all accounts, struggled on each of his visits to the new Bellevue track. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he's in the World Cup squad.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's been included in the 10-man squad. What's that about, by the way? As has Adam Ellis. I don't, with all the best regards and so on, because I think Adam Ellis is a great rider. I don't think he's quite ready for the World Team Cup yet. Do you?
Well, for me, I think that Wushman and Lambert, Craig Cook picked themselves, and then it's.
Would you go with King?
I've
Just
had
put
this
you on the spot.
debate with a few people because I'm still not sure whether I'd pick Danny King. I know he rode well in the British final,
But who would you
but
have?
the competition in the World Cup is going to be a lot stronger.
Of course, but he has had experience in the World Cup, so yeah, it's not as if he's got no experience.
He hasn't done a particularly great job in the World Cup season. He did well at Peterborough, fairness, which was about 2009, I think.
Yeah. So two questions then, really. If you didn't pick Danny King, who would you replace him? Who would you pick in place of him? And who would you put in as a reserve? Because that could be an important position.
It's a difficult one. I mean, a lot of people have mentioned the Worrells. I don't think the Worrells are ready for that yet. Chris Harris I wouldn't pick because I don't think he's riding well enough. I wouldn't pick Scott Nichols either, even though he rides there. I think his time at that level's gone.
Possibly, yes.
So probably by default you are picking Danny King, but I think he might be possibly the weak link if you do pick him.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling probably Chris Harris will get picked, but I certainly wouldn't pick him for the final squad.
Stan said, as you've mentioned King, what were the financial agreements with King coming in then going out? Well, I don't actually understand the question, and sort of why would I know that anyway?
Because you have the funds of all knowledge.
Of course I am. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. He went back to being a BSPA asset as he had no club stand. Is that what we... Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, he's a BSPA asset. We would not have had any recompense for that, other than that would have gone towards paying off the bills and so on that the club owed at that time. So,
and Diggle, who's just woken up, says, I suppose Ipswich paid a small fee to the BSPA.
Oh, so yeah, because is he an Ipswich asset? I've not heard whether he's an Ipswich asset. Maybe he is.
I don't think he is.
You think?
I don't think he might have been once, but I don't think he is.
He was
now.
once, yeah, because we brought him off Ipswich.
I thought Birmingham bought him off Ipswich.
Yeah,
so
we did.
I don't think Coventry have bought his contract out.
No, so I think he's probably still a BSPA asset, and he's probably quite happy for it to be that way because it gives him more scope. He doesn't have to be tied to one club. Swindon versus Lakeside.
There you go.
That's quite an important meeting, isn't it, really?
Right.
Swindon 25, Lakeside 17, so that's going the way. After a very, very slow start to the season, Swindon are really picking up some momentum, aren't they?
They're starting to do really well. They've had a few home defeats which might come back and bite them a little bit, but away they've been really good.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's not over yet, but it's not far from being over. So, so best wishes to Kyle Newman and his broken collarbone, and I like Kyle, one of my favourite riders. Okay, so have we got any more on the the shout box.
Agree with TSO, said Stan, and it's a question. FGS, which stands for...
Okay, yeah, I understood it was a question, Stan. I just didn't understand the question, but I do now that Dingle sort of explained it to me, so I apologise. I'm a thick brummy, what can I say?
Oh no, you'll get an argument from me. Or Joe.
Well, there's no argument to be had.
No. Come on, you've got to be happy with what's gone on this season on the whole and how things are going.
The start of the season was absolutely brilliant.
They're still unbeaten.
We're still unbeaten. Yeah, we can't take that away. We
No.
are still unbeaten. And we've gone to tracks. I mean, we went to tracks last year. Let's just sort of go back to that, where we were looking at each other and going, no, we're not going to win here. We did. Because we found a way. And that's what you've got to hope for at Kent. I mean, we don't have to win for a start off. It'd be nice to win. We've just got to, not lose by four, by more than four. I mean, I think if it's a draw, it goes to a race-off, doesn't it, Matt?
It's not a replay, I don't think. It might well be a race-off.
Yeah, so that
They
would be exciting.
They have replayed the falls in the past, I think, but...
Mind you, if it did go to it, you can't bet against Danny Ayres or Luke Bowen, really, can you?
So how do race-offs work then? If it's just is it just a
race-off?
One-on-one?
It's a match race.
Okay.
We nominate a rider.
Yeah.
They nominate a rider. I presume they would toss a coin for gate positions, and off you go. And the winner takes the spoils, much as what happened at Coventry last year in the fours.
Okay. Dingle wants to know where you can get some red and yellow flares. Pyro's not the trousers. That's a shame because I've got quite a few
Amazon
flares.
You seem to be able to get anything from Amazon these days, Dingle.
Yeah. But they are illegal, I believe.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do condemn.
Of course we
do.
Yeah.
Of course we do. Yeah.
And well, the less said on that. So okay, quick. We've got 10 minutes. So
where's that gone?
We have got a match against Coventry on Sunday. Straw poll again. Do the people on Shoutbox and Facebook think who's going to win? Matt, who are you going to go for?
I'll go for an away win. Narrow away win.
Narrow away win. Joseph?
Narrow away win.
I think we're going to slaughter them. Okay.
Somebody asked me.
Wasn't it you? Wasn't it you who at the start of this show said that we were going to lose?
And that was to Kent.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'll just say Danny King.
Danny King, yeah. Well, what is your opinion?
Exactly. Special One's going for a 6-point win.
6-point win?
Yeah.
I'm going for more than that. Because...
Just going back to pyros, I believe you can get pyros now, which aren't smoke. They're like powder. How that works, I don't know.
Okay, that was interesting on the Speedway show.
Yeah, just saying.
And now next week, no Speedway show, the Pyro show.
Yeah, no, the useful information section, I think we'll call that.
Okay.
Or
we could just not do it.
Okay.
So next match, of course, would be Kent. Oh, Dingle says 15 to 20 point win at Coventry, easy. Dingle knows everything.
Of course he
does. If Dingle says that, that's what's going to happen. So there you go. That would be great, wouldn't it, confidence-wise? I mean, I'm assuming that Tom Perry and Tom Bacon, or at least one of them, are going to be riding for that, and we ain't going to be worrying about guests, which would be nice.
But a win's a win.
And Capo says, yes, you can get powder pyro.
There you go.
So,
see?
Can you get red and yellow?
Knows all about pyro.
Can you get red and yellow powder pyro?
You can. You can get anything.
So there you go, Dangle.
You can get
Dingle.
anything.
Dingle dangle.
Yeah. Dingle dangle.
So,
it's a long day.
Let's go to the Kent match. Matt, I don't want to do this. Matt, who's going to win? And by what sort of pointages are we talking?
I want to do that, like a broadcaster.
Well, I think Birmingham have got riders that can go well at Kent. I think they're capable of winning there, but I think Kent will probably just sneak it on the night by maybe 4 points. I think it'll be very, very close. I think a lot of it depends on how quickly the two riders at reserve adapt to the track.
Right,
Kent.
yeah, because their reserves aren't cannon fodder.
No, they're not. Not going to be. Certainly not round there anyway.
Yeah. And that's the problem. The other problem I see is James Shane's. He rides Kent really, really well. He's a third heat leader, really.
They are favourites, Kent. There's no doubt about that. I thought Birmingham would have needed at least 10, 15 points even last night. I don't know whether 4's going to be enough. It may well be. There may well be to be able to keep it close and then maybe try and maybe hit them at the end. But I think Kent probably would be in the box seat for it now.
So you're going for a 4-point win for Kent.
Yeah.
A match race, and Luke Bowen to have an engine failure. Yeah. In that race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, it was.
Yeah.
You've twisted my arms there.
Joseph.
Purely to avoid jinxing it, I'm going to say we're going to lose.
You are such a superstitious person.
I'll just say, Danny King. The special one goes for Kent by 8.
I'd probably take that in a way because I'm looking now. See, I'm looking toward. This is we want to win this. It's a trophy, and we want to win it. Of course we do. But what I'm looking at is getting confidence for. Hopefully, I think it'll probably be us and Kent in the final. It's got a chance.
Yeah.
That's if we get to the final. I mean, there is a little matter of Eastbourne to negotiate. So I'm looking for some. We could easily have won by 8 points last night. Easily could have won by 8 points last night. If Tom Perry had been there, he wasn't. But if he had, it's ifs and buts, of course, we could possibly have won by more than 8 points. So you look at Heat 1. Zach Vitanen got an engine failure. Maybe if he hadn't had that engine failure and had gone out and done well, he would have had a different night last night. Yeah. Who knows? So, an 8 point. If we lose by 8 points, yeah, of course I want to win the trophy, but I would not be disappointed with that because I think that gives us a say next time. So, what do you think,
It's a
Matt?
strange way of putting it, that was.
Why was it a strange way of putting it?
Did you understand it?
Vaguely.
Dingle says we will get beaten by 10 at Kent.
All right, okay. And he doesn't want to live in Coventry, is what he says.
Who does?
He doesn't. He doesn't want to live in Coventry, said Dingle.
Okay.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing to say, we're going to Coventry Sunday. Could very well be the last time we go there.
Yep.
Which is really, really sad.
After how many years? How many years has Coventry been in existence? A long time?
I've got an inkling it won't. I've got an inkling they might get reprieve Coventry.
Yeah, I have heard those sorts of inklings, yeah.
Well, I hope they do. I certainly hope they do. Just to give them a bit longer to try and find somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay, Swindon Robins 32, Lakeside Hammers 25, and if Webby's really quick, he'll give us the Sheffield results so far before we go off air. So, thank you all very much for joining us tonight. It's been a bit of an experiment.
We almost got it right. We got the split screens. It's just the interviews.
Yeah, we work on that. We work on it. We only actually got it working today, didn't we? It's pretty much.
No trial.
We apologise to the radio listeners.
Yeah. But the Facebook listeners, they're happy.
And Web is working really well because it's Sheffield 38 and Redcar 24.
Great stuff.
So what you're telling me is he's been replaced by an alien?
And I can't think I can add anything to that. So on that note, thank you all for joining us and see you next week.